In a remote village surrounded by a deep ravine, the only connection to the outside world was a fragile wooden plank laid across the abyss. The villagers were too afraid to cross it, fearing the gusting winds and the dizzying height below. Over the years, the ravine became a symbol of their isolation and fear. Among them lived a boy named Rami, who often stood at the edge, staring at the opposite side where adventure and opportunity seemed to await. "One day, I'll cross it," he told himself. The villagers mocked him. "You're foolish," they said. "The plank is too weak. The wind will toss you into the abyss. Stay where it's safe." But Rami couldn't let the fear stop him. Deep inside, he believed the bridge wasn't just a test of balance, it was a test of courage. One morning, as the village slumbered, Rami stepped onto the plank. It wobbled beneath his weight, and the wind howled like a warning. His heart raced, but he whispered, "One step at a time." The first few steps were terrifying. The plank creaked, and the ravine seemed to stretch endlessly below. His instinct screamed for him to turn back. Suddenly, a voice called from behind. "Rami!" It was the village elder. "Why risk your life? There's nothing for us over there." Rami didn't stop. "Maybe there's nothing for you," he replied, "but I'll never know unless I try." With every step, his confidence grew. He learned to steady himself against the wind, to trust the plank beneath his feet. Slowly, but surely, he reached the other side. When he turned back, the villagers stood frozen in disbelief. "He made it!" someone whispered. The other side was beautiful. Lush fields, clear streams, and endless possibilities. But Rami didn't stay. Instead, he began to gather wood and tools, working tirelessly to build a sturdy bridge. Day after day, he returned to the ravine, hammering and tying planks together. The villagers watched in awe as the flimsy plank transformed into a solid path. When the bridge was finished, Rami stood at the edge and called out, "The way is open! Come and see what's waiting for us." At first, only a few dared to cross. But when they returned, their stories of the wonders on the other side inspired others. Soon, the entire village began to embrace the opportunities they had once feared. The bridge became more than a structure. It was a symbol of courage and the willingness to face the unknown. Years later, when travelers asked about the magnificent bridge, the villagers would point to Rami and say, "He taught us that fear isn't the end. It's just the beginning of discovery." At the base of the bridge, Rami carved the words, "The first step is always the hardest, but it's the step that changes everything."